My name is Mary R. Harrington, and I'm 31 years old. Can you leave the house for an hour or so, please? I need some privacy with her. My boyfriend Caleb said about his female best friend. I said, take all the time you need, and left permanently. A few hours later, he called, confused, asking where I was. I said, don't call me, I need privacy too, and hung up. You know that specific kind of exhaustion that settles into your bones after a 50-hour work week? Not just tired, not just sleepy, but soul-heavy. Like your brain has been packed in cotton, and your body is moving only because rent is due, and adulthood does not care if you are empty. That was me on Friday at 6:30 p.m. I paid the rent, all of it. I paid utilities. I paid for groceries, internet, streaming, cleaning supplies, the little things Caleb said he would catch next time and never did. He covered his student loans and fun money. I told myself it was temporary, that I was investing in a future with a man I loved. I was wrong. I was subsidizing a disrespect factory, and the forewoman of that factory was Gina. Gina was Caleb's best friend. She was not the kind of woman people warned you about in obvious ways. She was not rich, not especially glamorous, not some movie villain in heels. Her weapon was fragility. She was always spiraling, always unsafe, always in a crisis that required Caleb's full emotional availability. Her ex-boyfriend had posted a picture with a new woman, so Gina was devastated. Gina had a panic attack because her roommate used the wrong mug. Gina needed Caleb because nobody else understood her inner world. And somehow, every time Gina needed rescuing, I was expected to become smaller in my own life. I walked into the apartment, dropped my keys on the entry table, and headed straight for the couch. All I wanted was silence, pizza, and 12 hours without being responsible for another human being's emotional weather. Caleb was in the kitchen pacing, phone in hand. He did not say, "Welcome home." He did not ask how work was. He said, "Gina is coming over." I closed my eyes. "Caleb, it's Friday. I'm dead on my feet. Can you two go to a coffee shop or her place?" "Her roommates are loud," he snapped immediately. "And she's in a really bad place. Her ex posted with that new girl. She needs a safe space." "Fine," I said, rubbing my temples. "Use the living room. I'll go to the bedroom, put on headphones, and pass out." His shoulders relaxed. "Thank you. You're the best." I went into the bedroom, shut the door, put on noise-canceling headphones, and tried to be reasonable. I tried to be the secure girlfriend, the woman who does not get jealous of a platonic best friend. The woman who trusts that love is not threatened by someone else crying on her couch. 20 minutes later, the door creaked open. Caleb stood there, arms crossed, looking uncomfortable, but not uncomfortable for me, uncomfortable at me. "What?" I asked, taking off the headphones. "Do you need me to order food?" "No," he said, shifting his weight. "Look, this isn't working." "What isn't?" "You being here." I sat up slowly. "I'm in the bedroom, Caleb. Door closed, headphones on. I'm invisible." "It's not about noise." His voice slipped into that soft therapy tone he used when he wanted control to sound like maturity. "It's your energy. Gina knows you're in here. She feels stifled. She can't fully release because she feels judged. She's intimidated by you." I stared at him. 5 seconds of silence stretched between us. "So what are you asking?" He took a deep breath like he was the one making a sacrifice. "Can you leave the house for an hour or so? Please. Just go to the gym or grab a drink. I need privacy with her to get her through this panic attack. Once she's calm, you can come back." There it was. He was not sneaking around. He was not even ashamed. He was looking me in the eye and telling me my comfort in the home I paid for mattered less than Gina's need to perform her weekly breakdown without an audience. In the past, I would have argued. He would have called me insecure. I would have defended myself until I sounded guilty. But this time, something cold and mathematical clicked into place. Okay, I said. He blinked. Really? You're not going to make a scene? No scene. She needs support, right? Relief washed over his face. Exactly. Thank you for being understanding. I grabbed my gym bag, but I did not pack gym clothes. While Caleb went back to the hallway and murmured, "It's okay, she's leaving," I moved fast. Laptop, passport, birth certificate, social security card, external hard drive, 2 changes of clothes, toothbrush, 90 seconds. I zipped the bag, walked past Gina trembling theatrically on my couch, and reached the door. Caleb kissed my cheek. I did not kiss back. "I'll text you when she's better," he whispered. I opened the door. "Take all the time you need," I said, and I meant it. I walked down the hallway with my gym bag over my shoulder, listening to the apartment door click shut behind me. That sound should have hurt. It should have felt like exile. Instead, as the elevator carried me down to the garage, all I could think was how quiet my own breathing sounded when nobody was asking me to make room for their chaos. I got into my car, sat there for maybe 30 seconds, and checked my GPS for the nearest hotel that was not a complete disaster. Technically, I had just been pushed out of the home I paid for, but as I pulled out of the garage, I did not feel homeless. I felt released. The hotel was 20 minutes away, one of those beige business places near the interstate that smelled like industrial lemon cleaner and tired carpet. It was not romantic. It was not glamorous. But when I walked into that room and dropped my bag on the bed, it felt more like home than my apartment had in months. I ordered a burger from room service, took a long shower without worrying Caleb would knock because Gina needed him to analyze a voice note, and turned on the TV loud enough to hear every explosion in the action movie playing on cable. For the first time in 2 years, I was not managing anyone's emotional climate. I was not tiptoeing around Gina's latest crisis. I was not calculating whether Caleb would be affectionate or distant, depending on how much attention his best friend had required that day. I was alone, and the loneliness felt clean. At 8:30, I checked my phone. Nothing. No, "Are you okay?" No, "Thank you for doing this." No, "I'm sorry that was a lot to ask." The hour or so Caleb mentioned had stretched into 2 hours, and he had not even wondered where I was. That was the part that hardened something in me. As long as I was out of the apartment, out of Gina's way, out of the emotional scene they were starring in together, I did not exist. At 10:15, nearly 4 hours after I left, Caleb finally called. I let it ring 3 times, took a bite of my burger, wiped my mouth, and answered without saying hello. "Hey," he said, bright and casual, like nothing strange had happened. "Where are you? I texted you like 20 minutes ago." I didn't see it. "Oh, well, Gina just left. She's feeling a lot better. She really needed to cry it out, you know? She absorbs so much negativity from the world." He paused, then added, "Anyway, are you close? The fridge is empty. Can you pick up Thai food on your way back? I'm starving." Gina was too upset to eat, so I didn't want to eat in front of her. There it was. He had kicked me out of my own apartment, spent 4 hours alone comforting another woman, and now he was summoning me back like delivery service with a pulse. He did not ask if I had eaten. He did not ask where I had gone. He assumed I had been hovering somewhere nearby, waiting to become useful again. "No," I said. A pause. "No? I'm not getting food and I'm not coming back." He laughed nervously. "Stop being weird. Where are you? Did you go to your sister's?" "It's not a joke, Caleb. You asked me to leave, so I left." His tone changed instantly. The brightness vanished, replaced by that condescending edge he used when I stepped outside the role he assigned me. "Okay, look. I know you're feeling insecure right now, but don't be dramatic. I asked you to leave for an hour. You're punishing me for helping a friend in crisis, and honestly, it's unattractive. I'm not punishing you, I said calmly. I'm agreeing with you. You needed privacy. Boundaries are important. Tonight made me realize I have no privacy in my own home because I've been living with a third person who doesn't pay rent. Oh my God, are we really doing the Gina thing again? Yes, I said, because the Gina thing keeps becoming the Mary leaves her own life thing. She was crying, he snapped. She was practically falling apart. She is always falling apart until someone asks her to be accountable. You're heartless. No, Caleb. I'm tired. He inhaled sharply. Just come home. We'll talk in person. Bring food because I have a headache. I looked around the hotel room. The locked door, the clean sheets, the half-eaten burger, the blessed absence of his voice in every corner. I'm not coming home tonight. Not tomorrow either. Stop it, you're scaring me. Where are you sleeping? That's none of your business anymore. None of my business? I'm your boyfriend. Are you? I asked. Because boyfriends don't kick their partners out to comfort another woman. You made a choice tonight. You chose Gina's comfort over my respect. You wanted the apartment to yourself. Congratulations. It's yours. His voice finally cracked. Mary, please. I'm sorry if I made you feel left out. I don't need to hear anything else, I said. Don't call me. I need privacy too. I hung up before he could answer, blocked his number, and put the phone on Do Not Disturb. I expected panic. I expected guilt. Instead, I unpaused the movie, took another bite of my burger, and realized it tasted like freedom. I slept for 9 hours straight. Not the restless half-sleep I used to get beside Caleb, where part of my brain stayed awake, waiting for his phone to buzz with Gina's latest catastrophe. Real sleep. Heavy sleep. The kind where your body finally believes nobody is about to ask it to apologize for taking up space. When I woke up Saturday morning, sunlight was leaking through the hotel curtains, and for a few seconds I did not remember why I was there. Then I remembered Caleb's face in the bedroom doorway, asking me to leave my own apartment so Gina could feel safe enough to cry. The memory did not crush me. It clarified me. I spent the weekend in the hotel. I did not drink myself into some dramatic spiral. I did not call friends crying. I did not stalk Caleb's social media or wonder whether Gina had stayed the night. I went to the hotel gym, read half a book by the window, and ignored my phone until Sunday evening. When I finally checked it, the notifications looked like a crime scene. 17 missed calls. 42 texts. Caleb had traveled the entire emotional map without me. First came denial. Stop joking around. This isn't funny. Then anger. You are being childish. Grow up. Then bargaining. I'll tell Gina she can't come over for a week if that makes you feel better. A week. Like I had grounded his emotional mistress from the couch. Then sadness. I'm crying and I'm scared. Why are you doing this? Then rage again. Fine, be cruel. See if I care. I did not answer. Responding gives people like Caleb a doorway. Silence leaves them alone with the room they built. Monday morning, I woke at 7, put on a fresh shirt, and called my boss. I need to take a personal emergency day, I said. Housing situation. He knew I never missed work, so he only said, do what you need to do. And I did. I knew Caleb's schedule. He left for the boutique management office at 8:30 and took the subway, which meant he would be underground and unreachable for at least 40 minutes. Gina, unemployed by choice and exhausted by the emotional labor of ruining my relationship, usually slept until noon at her own apartment. At 9 sharp, I pulled up outside the building, but I did not bring 2 friends and a pickup truck. That was amateur hour. I brought a professional moving crew, 3 men, 1 large truck, and enough shrink wrap to preserve a museum. The apartment smelled like stale wine and Gina's perfume, something sweet and powdery that made my stomach tighten. I handed the foreman a list. "We are surgical today. I point, you pack. If I don't point, it stays." We moved fast. The 65-inch OLED TV I bought after my promotion, gone. The surround sound system, gone. The Breville espresso machine I loved more than some relatives, gone. The Dyson vacuum, the Herman Miller chair from my home office, my cookware, my books, my tools, my printer, my bedding, my lamps, my clothes, my shoes, my watches, my framed photos. I took the nightstands I had sanded and refinished myself. I took the desk where I had paid every bill Caleb forgot existed. I took the life I had built and stopped pretending it belonged to both of us. In the bathroom, I paused at the supply closet. A fresh bulk pack of toilet paper sat beside expensive laundry detergent and smart bulbs I had installed because Caleb hated harsh lighting. A petty woman would have taken them. A petty woman would have unscrewed the bulbs and left him in the dark. I left it all. Taking it would say I wanted him inconvenienced. Leaving it said he had become too irrelevant for $50 of paper products. By 11:30, the apartment was not empty, but it was hollow. Caleb's cheap side tables remained, his decorative pillows. The small TV he hated before mine made him forget it existed. I placed my key on the kitchen counter beside a note, short and clean as a business memo. "Caleb, since you need so much privacy for you and Gina, I've decided to give you the apartment permanently. I have moved out. Rent is due on the 1st. Good luck." At 1:30, I was sitting in a diner with my brother Ellis eating a club sandwich when my phone began vibrating again. "Caleb, Caleb, Caleb." Then the text. "What did you do? Where is the TV? I can't afford this place alone. Gina says you're a psychopath." Then his friends started messaging, people I had cooked for, hosted, and helped move. "You abandoned him. You don't mess with housing. Be mature." I sent one mass reply. Caleb asked me to leave my own home so he could be alone with another woman. I respected his wishes and moved out. I am no longer financially responsible for his choices. Do not contact me again. Then I blocked them one by one. After lunch, I went straight to the leasing office and paid the early termination fee with a cashier's check. It hurt, but I saw it as ransom for my future. The property manager confirmed Caleb would have 30 days to sign a new lease in his own name and qualify on his own income. "He won't qualify," I said. She clicked her keyboard. "Then he'll receive notice to vacate." I walked out lighter than air. The next 3 months were quiet for me in a way that felt almost suspicious at first. I focused on work. I started lifting again, heavy enough that my body had no room left to store old stress. I slept through the night. I ate real meals instead of whatever was left after Caleb decided Gina's feelings required takeout and my paycheck. Slowly, the constant cortisol drained out of me. I stopped checking corners of my life for disasters I had not caused. News still found me, because news always does. Apparently, the honeymoon phase of Caleb and Gina's safe space lasted exactly as long as the internet bill was paid. With me gone, Gina stepped into the empty part of the apartment I had left behind. Not as a roommate in any responsible sense, of course. She brought a duffel bag, a weighted blanket, 3 houseplants, and a belief that rent was a capitalist pressure system. Caleb, who used to call me rigid for caring about due dates, suddenly found himself explaining due dates to a woman who thought manifesting abundance counted as a financial plan. The apartment cost $2,400 a month. Caleb made just enough to look comfortable as long as someone else handled the real math. After taxes, student loans, groceries, utilities, and Gina's endless emotional emergencies, reality became a brutal creditor. Gina was wonderful at crying about her childhood trauma at 2 in the morning. She was not wonderful at paying the electric bill. She was not wonderful at doing dishes. She was not wonderful at giving Caleb silence after work when he was tired and wanted the exact kind of peace I had once begged for. By the second month, the dynamic had completely inverted. Caleb was no longer the noble rescuer comforting a fragile woman. He was a stressed-out man coming home to a messy apartment, overdue notices, and Gina curled on the couch watching videos about feminine intuition while the sink filled with plates. The emotional connection he had defended like a sacred bond evaporated the moment he asked her to contribute to groceries. Gina called him controlling, then materialistic, then emotionally unsafe. The exact words he used to throw at me when I asked for basic respect. When the notice to vacate finally arrived because Caleb could not qualify for the lease on his own and could not cover the rent consistently, Gina did not fight for him. She did not get a job or sell her crystals or call the landlord with a plan. She packed her duffel bag while Caleb was at work and went back to her mother's guest room. Blocked him on everything, left him with the debt, the eviction mark, and the crushing realization that he had traded a stable, loving life for a woman who only stayed while someone else paid the cover charge. Caleb lost the apartment. He had to move back in with his father 40 minutes outside the city, a commute he used to mock when other people had it. I heard all of this from Ellis, who heard it from a mutual friend who had apparently unblocked me just to apologize. I did not reply. I was not happy. I was not sad. I was simply vindicated. And that was enough. It was a Tuesday evening in November when I saw Caleb again. I was leaving the gym, keys buried somewhere in my bag, feeling strong and clean and ready for the weekend date I had lined up with Nathan, a lawyer I had met at a networking event. Then I heard my name. Mary. I turned. Caleb stood near the bike rack, shivering in a hoodie I recognized as one I had bought him. He looked rough, thinner but not healthy. His hair was messy, his eyes rimmed red, his confidence gone soft around the edges. "I've been waiting for an hour," he said. "You always do legs on Tuesdays." "Okay," I said. "Why?" His eyes filled. Once, that look would have made me apologize for things I had not done. Now it looked like a rerun I had already canceled. "I miss you," he whispered. "I messed up. You were right about Gina. She used me. She turned me against you. I didn't see it then, but I see it now. She's gone. I fixed the problem." I looked at him for a long second. "Gina wasn't the problem, Caleb. You were." He flinched. "No, she manipulated me." "She asked for things," I said. "You chose to give them. You chose her comfort over my respect. You chose to kick me out of my own home." I was confused. People make mistakes. Everyone deserves a second chance. A mistake is forgetting milk. Asking your girlfriend to leave the apartment she pays for so you can have privacy with another woman is not a mistake. It's a statement. "But I love you," he said, loud enough that a couple near the entrance glanced over. "Doesn't that matter?" "No," I said. "Not anymore." He stared at me like he had never imagined I could become unreachable. "So that's it? 2 years and you're just throwing it away because of one bad night?" I opened my car door and looked at him over the roof. "I didn't throw it away, Caleb. I left it exactly where you put it. Second place." Then I got in, turned on the radio, and drove away without looking back. I had a date to get ready for, a life to keep building, and for the first time in years, no one else's crisis waiting on my couch.